How you like it so far?
Oh, I like it. You take it. You're on though.
Oh, it's still
I love it. Yeah.
Oh, well, how are you liking it so far? I hope they're learning.
I'm feeling it.
I'm hoping that they're learning something.
Okay. This question right here, in every couch edition I have, what? But we're gonna do it with you because you're not in Ballroom.
Right.
What are your views on Ballroom? And because before you talked about stunt queens and all, what are your views and what are your perceptions of things that you may have been told or you know? What are your views on Ballroom?
Well, I know that a lot of girls in the ballroom scene are very superficial. I know this already because I've met girls that are superficial. I know that there are a lot of girls in there that feel that that group of people have to justify them so that they can be who they are. They need that approval from those people to be who they are. I talked about stunt queens and I talked about all of that type of stuff because I wasn't hating on anybody's way, their hustle at all, but they were on mine. And I'm like, you cannot sit here and think that you are doing anything so much better than me when you are performing criminal acts and I'm not. I'm just fucking. So, I mean, I'm just keeping it real. That's just how I felt. Like, how could you feel that way? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, if that's your hustle, if that's how you gotta survive, I don't approve of everything that everybody does, just like they don't approve of me. But the basic thing in life is survival. We have to eat. We have to sleep. We have to live. None of us, we already have too many people against us. So why would we want to live on the street? You know, you understand what I'm saying? I think that Ballroom is, it's a way to bring people together as far as family. Now I do see that in the Ballroom, that Ballroom is basically big on family, because a lot of us transgender and gay people were ostracized by our family. We were kicked out. We were banished, and the only thing that we had was the love and acceptance of our peers. I do think
that embraced them from young.
Yeah, that embraced them from young and showed them. And what I think about a lot of girls and a lot of people in the ballroom situation is that they were not really raised. A lot of them were not raised by. Can I say this without being offensive to anybody?
No, this is what this is. On the couch, it's how you feel.
I think they were not raised by heterosexual people. They were raised by other gay and other fag and other. I'm sorry to use the terms.
You're not speaking for it as a whole, but you're saying a lot.
A lot of them were raised this way. So by them being raised this way, they alienate themselves from how actual society operates, because it's so gay. It's so.
And I can agree with that to an extent, because I'm lucky to have a lot of family and I have straight friends and stuff. Right. I think that a lot of times in the ballroom, a lot of gay people don't know how to react to interact with straight people because they don't have them as friends, or they may not deal with their family in that aspect, so they don't have that balance to deal with people from both spectrums.
Right. So they would look at me as some type of freak, and they would look at me that way because their family, their gay family, is telling them, "Oh, honey, you don't do that. You do this. You walk balls. You don't do porn. You walk balls. You do this. You do that. Whatever. You don't do that. That's not this, and the other." When I'm not doing anything any different than a heterosexual entrepreneur that's in the adult entertainment business is doing. Now my business has expanded so far from adult to everything. Like, I got people, Andy Cohen followers, Bevy Smith, RuPaul. Like, I got celebrity people that are openly. I love you, Madison, because I actually see what you're doing. I actually see what your stance is on the situation. I love you. And for gay people to turn their back on me in the beginning, because they did in the beginning, for them to turn their back on me, and straight people to embrace me, let me know that I'm more intertwined with the heterosexual community than I am with the gay. So that's why I made a lot of statements saying, "Bitch, I ain't a part of this motherfucking community," which I was. And I went back and I had to say, "Hey, all right, Maddie, I have to take responsibility because these people are watching. These people are, learning from me, because they may not listen to the whole Janet Mock situation, because Janet Mock might be standing over there saying, we're strong transgender women and I'm doing this because we want SRS, whatever." They might look at me as being, you can't break a wall down with whispers. You need a bulldozer and a crane. You just do. And I think they do a lot of whispering. Like, yeah.
So Janet Mock has spoke about you before?
Janet Mock, I spoke to her on Instagram, but people used to tag stuff with what she would say, and they would, you know how to do, like they were doing us back and forth or whatever. And recently, someone came on my Instagram and it was like, "Bitch, you nasty, fuck you, hoe, you sitting around here. This is how a real woman's supposed to do it, and you see Janet Mock, is it on? Is gonna fade out, and blah 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 blah." So I responded and I tagged back on Janet Mock's page. I said, "Ma'am, listen, one thing I'm not going to do is allow you to pit me against another transgender woman that's doing her thing. I wish great blessings for Janet Mock because she is a transgender woman. However, you, ma'am, sir, will not sit here and break down my movement as if I'm unimportant as well. So I'm going to bid you farewell, and I wish you blessings as well." Janet Mock immediately responded to me and said, "Maddie, I don't know why they try to pit us against each other and this and the other." And I said, "Well, I mean, that's just the ignorancy of society. They just want to see you battle. They want to see you go through situations like that or whatever. You are a transgender woman that has a platform on television. There's no way that I'm hating against you. Never."
So let's go into that, because you just said something that is so real and it's something so big in the community. Putting someone against the other person, putting trans against trans, putting the femme queen against another femme queen. You know, do you feel you have competition?
I mean,
do other bitches get you upset? Do you ever get that you can't take a bitch? Or?
No, I'm not that way. I'm about to be 38 years old. And I know that I'm not the only beauty. I know that I'm not the only big dick bitch. I know that I'm not the only. I know I'm not the only entrepreneur. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm never gonna knock another girl. So I met Felicity and was amazed that there was another girl that has great business sense like myself, because I usually don't meet other transgender women that has business sense about themselves. They was talking about trade and how they want the trade to have them and how they could never do what I do, honey, because they would never expose themselves because the trade or this and the other. I'm like, bitch, these people make us money. Are you crazy? That's another story. But I'm not for the pit against. I'm always going to reach out and say, "Hey, girl, let's do this together," or "Let me give you a piece of advice on this," or whatever, so that I want to see girls succeed. I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to be a hater. God has given me too much. If I don't get anything else today, He has given me so much. So much.
So let's get to the nitty gritty. Business sense. So you've been doing porn for how long, for those who may not know?
I came into the adult entertainment industry back in 2000, 2001.
How the hell did it happen?
Well, it happened because a girl introduced me to black T-girls.
Okay.
Every transgender woman has been approached by black T-girls.
I've heard of that.
Everyone. If they haven't,
a lot of them have actually regretted it. Actually,
yes.
I've known, yeah.
If they haven't, they will be. And I was introduced to it through another transgender woman, and I was just like, wow, whatever. And it was the bare minimum. It was nothing. I was going through a period of time in my life where I was broke. I was about to get put out of my apartment, and I needed the money. And they paid me $300.
It's so funny because I've heard that from everybody, like $300. Busy back then.
It was $300. They paid me $300. That was $1 a picture. They took 300 fucking pictures. I was just like, bitch, Then they paid me $50 extra to masturbate. I was like, okay, cool. I knew it was released because my phone started ringing. This is how I got introduced to hooking and all this stuff. And I was like, well, what kind of shit is this? I had to be about, what was 2000, 2001? That was 13 years ago?
No, 14 years ago.
Yeah, I was 20-something. Anyway, so I'm like, hello? Yes, I'm available. I don't know what to say. Like, this is somebody trying to fuck me.
Oh, so you didn't escort before that?
No.
Okay.
I worked at a job.
Okay.
And this was, somebody trying to give me money to hook.
How far were you into your transition then? Like, were you already, like, breasts and everything in body?
Yeah, they were little nubs. They were little peanut. Well, they were bigger than peanut shells. They were nubs.
But you were moaning of, obviously.
I was moaning and getting little squigs of seal here and there. I started my transition when I was about 17 years old. Okay. I started then. I was really...
Living at home?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of, okay.
I was living with my aunt, who I would talk about.
Okay.
And I started around that time. And I was always prone to, and I was an idiot too, I was prone to working a job. I had my first job working for my grandfather, doing lawn service, cutting grass. I was a man, honey, cutting grass. In the midst of me cutting grass, and this is how you have to hear this shit. God is an awesome thing. He puts things on your path from the beginning. You just got to recognize it. And now that I'm talking about this, I'm recognizing. My grandfather was doing a lawn of a gentleman named William Coleman. William Coleman was starting a computer business. Now, one thing I am is super computer savvy. William Coleman was starting a computer business. I was 13 years old. This man gave me a job working in his computer. He taught me how to put computers together. He taught me how to do CD-ROM, all of this stuff, like before computers even exploded like that. God was putting the seeds in the ground then. And he taught me how to do this stuff. I was 13 years old. And I worked for him until I was 15. I started working at Long John Silver's after that. And then I started working at Miami Subs. And at 17 years old, I met a transgender.